Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess, and today we're talking about a series check-in, because I think I'm in the middle of quite a few. I've written them down, so there are some that I have one to finish, there are some I have many to finish, and that could be there's only one book out in the series, or that I've only read one book in the series. Couple manga series in here too, so those have a lot more volumes than a normal book series would. So I wonder if I've completed anything. Let's look, shall we? There's only one that is 3 out of 3, and I completed that this year, and it was Live Ship Traders by Robin Hobb. I buddy read this with Robin, not Robin Hobb. And something I will say, that if you read this series, I do not recommend taking a long break, because we read one last year, we read the second one like February, and then we didn't read the third one till like October. Not a good idea unless you have a really great memory, because we were just like, what is this, who is this, what's going on, where is it? I enjoyed the first one the most. I really liked the change from what's the first, Farseers, because this one has multiple points of view. Fitz is just so pitiful. It's a nice change from that. I like the sentience of the ships. I enjoy what we learn about the Rainwild, and that's something that I enjoy throughout the books, but I don't remember much about. I just feel like they're very long, and they take a while to like really pick up speed, but then when they do, then it feels like I'm very invested. And when I finished the second one, I was like, I think I would like to go on to the Riyria Chronicles, because that's really interesting to me, and it still is. I just don't know if her writing style works for me. Like, I think she has good writing, I just don't know if it works for me and how she crafts a narrative. But in the third book, let me tell you, these are some terrible people, some of these characters, and there's no justice, really. It was so unsatisfactory, the ending of this series, and to me, I was waiting for comeuppance, I was waiting for retribution, and if I say anything else, it'll be a spoiler, but just know that I'm glad it's over. I just don't know if Robin Hobb is the author for me. I won't say never, but I'm definitely taking a break from her right now. So I think the next one is the Tawny Man trilogy. I won't be reading that, at least anytime soon. So I at least completed one series. I literally think that's the only one on this list that I've completed. Everything else are in progress. So woo! So then I'm just going to go down the rest. And these are obviously ones that I want to keep reading. I didn't include ones that I read the first book or second book and were like, no, that can be a separate video. I don't even know if I have that many. So I have the Unwind dystology by Neil Shusterman. I read this like years ago, the first one, and never continued. So then again, I reread the first one, still great, and I need to continue. There's 4 books, and I find it really interesting. It's a young adult dystopian series where there was a great war. Abortion is illegal. However, you have to keep the child, and if they get to, I think it's 13 or 14, and they're still like a disappointment or they're a terrible child, you can have them unwound, which is what it sounds like, okay? All their body parts basically get dismembered and disassembled and go to different people who might need it, who might need a heart, who may need a hand transplant. It's wild. It was a good refresher because I hadn't read it in a while, but soon I need to go into the next one before I forget everything again, because my memory is crap. But it's a good time. It's a very unique story, and I need to continue. So 3 more left. Then I have the Innkeeper Chronicles by Ilona Andrews. I read Clean Sweep this year. Currently there's 5. I don't know if they're continuing that series, but I read 1, and it is like she's an innkeeper, but she has like magical abilities, and there's werewolves and there's vampires, and her inn is kind of like a safe haven. So even if there's beef between various creatures, like when you're there, you're protected. But there's something going on in her little quiet Texas town, and I just had it was really fun. My first Ilona Andrews, so I want to continue with those. I put this on here. I don't know if I plan to read all of them, but I do want to continue. And it's the Robert Langdon series, which is like Da Vinci Code or whatever by Dan Brown. I've read one. I read Angels and Demons, and I am not here to say, wow, what an amazing writer, what a well-crafted story. They're fun. It was fun. I've seen the movies for at least the Da Vinci Code. And so I listened to the audiobook, and it was just like an entertaining time. And so I do plan to read the Da Vinci Code, which is number 2. And, you know, I have heard they're very formulaic, so I've been waiting to take a break. And so I definitely want to read that one. I don't know if I'll continue. There's 6. He just had one that came out this year. We'll see. Definitely at least one more. The Raven Scholar, actually, it's called the Eternal Path Trilogy. Now, this one only has one book out. The Raven Scholar came out, was it 2024 or 2025? I think it was 2025, and I read it and I really enjoyed it. I have struggled with a lot of new release fantasies, so this was really good. It's adult story where they have like a competition. Like the world is basically broken up into different factions. You're in House of the Monkey, House of the Fox, and anyway, they're basically competing to see who's going to be like their next emperor. Because it's supposed to be like this really equitable thing that anybody has a chance and they can't rule for over a certain amount of time, but then there's like murder and conspiracy, and I thought it was really good. So there's only one out. I don't know when the next one comes out. I'll have to look and see if there's a date, but 1 out of 3, and interested to see where this story goes. All of these are a series, but some are, you know, there's some series where you like need to read book 1, book 2, book 3, and then there's some other ones where you don't need to do that. It's like romance, so I have a couple of those. Cowboys of California by Rebecca Weatherspoon. I've read 2 out of the 3, so I only have 1 left, which is actually the 3rd one. I'll put them up here. I don't remember what they're called. I really liked the first one. The second one was okay, so I do want to finish the 3rd one because it's like 3 brothers. Very interested to see that brothers love story. So that's one that I have left. Only 1. And in another romance series, I have only the 3rd one left, and it's the Inns at Booneborough series by Nora Roberts. Again, I loved the first one. I liked the second one, so I'm interested to see the 3rd one. Again, are these brothers? Are they all brothers? I think they're brothers. And at this 3rd, and for both of these, I think they're both the brothers who are like a hard ass, closed off, and so I am always interested in those. So I definitely need to finish that one. Jumping back to something you do need to read in order, and I'm torn on this one. I put a question mark because it's Stormlight Archive. I said that I DNF'd it, and I have read 2.8 books. What does that mean? I read The Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, and I got like 80% in through Oathbringer before I gave up. I really should just say I don't know why it's so hard for me to like declare that I'm never reading it again, because some of it is like I want to know what happens, but the problem is they're so long, and also overall the entire series is supposed to be 10 books separated into 2 5-book plot arcs. So the first 5 are finished, but he has all these other plans, which I understand, to go work on other projects and then come back to this years later. So that's why I feel like I'm like, right now, in the next several years, I don't think I would focus on Stormlight or even go back to Stormlight, but maybe. God, that's a lot of words though. This is one that I'm actually like up to date with, and it's Amari, or Supernatural Investigations is the name of the series. The first book is Amari and the Night Brothers, which is a middle grade fantasy series that I love. So I originally thought it was going to be a trilogy, so I read the 3rd one and I was like, that kind of left things, and then saw online that's supposed to be 5 books, which I get it for like middle grade, it makes sense, but I just like things to be finished because I'm like, look at me, finally up to date with the series. Anyway, I'm up to date, but there's 2 more. So the 4th book comes out in February. Do you think I know the names of any of these things? No, but I'll put an image. So we'll be reading that to try to stay up to date. But it's a great middle grade fantasy series, and I think even as an adult you can enjoy it. So I gotta keep supporting Internet Cousin BB. This is another one. I don't know if it's a duology or if it's supposed to be a trilogy. It's Blood at the Root. I read the first one and I liked it. I told myself I was gonna read the second one, which did come out in July, and I haven't read it yet. And I don't know if there's supposed to be a third one. So I don't have many thoughts. Like, I plan to read it. I'm just not in a rush to read it. And I didn't hear a lot about the second one, so I don't know if it's a good follow-up. Disappointing. I don't think a ton of people have read it, according to Goodreads. But I still wanted to read it. This is another question mark, and it's the Spark of the Kindred's Curse. The first book is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. So I was reading these. I read the first one, loved it. Read the second one, loved it. They both end on cliffhangers. And I heard the third one did too, but I was going to go into that one because at that time, the fourth one said that it was going to be out in July. What was this, 2024? On Kindle Unlimited. That's where they were before they got picked up. Because I made a video saying, ooh, I have a prediction that this is going to be the next series picked up by a traditional publisher. That did happen. And with that also, the fourth book still doesn't exist. So I don't know if she put that up there on Kindle Unlimited in error, but anytime anyone asks about when the fourth book is coming out, she's like, when I finish writing it. So I guess she's still working on it, which is fine. I just don't know if my investment will last to wait for that fourth book, because, like, again, memory, terrible. I don't feel like going back through the emotions to reread the first two. I say that right now. I don't know, it could change. To then read the third one, to be ready for the fourth one whenever it comes out. So I don't know. We'll see. Another book series that is not, was it serialized? I can't think of the proper words, but this is a thriller series by Karen Slaughter. It's Will Trent. I have read 8 of them so far. There's 12. I don't know how long she plans to keep it going. I mean, she can continue. I know one came out this year, I think. So currently there's 12. I love this series. I love the character Will Trent so much. And there are some characters that I hate almost as much as I love Will. I don't love the TV show. I don't think it's a good adaptation to me. A lot of people seem to love it. I don't. But I do love the books. They take place in Atlanta, Georgia. He is an agent with the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, the GBI. And he was like placed in foster care, had a really hard upbringing, and so he's still got a lot of trauma. And then there's, he's trying to deal with his romantic life, and then things from his past come back to haunt him, and they just make me emotional. They're so good. I love them. So I just seem to read one a year, or I read a couple and then I don't read. I don't know. I just know they'll be waiting for me. I get to them when I get to them. Hierarchy. This, I don't know if this is supposed to be a trilogy or not, but it is. The Will of the Many is the first book. The Strength of the Few came out in November, so I don't know how many books left. I've read The Will of the Many. I need to read The Strength of the Few to be up to date. But again, it's like, damn, am I gonna read The Strength of the Few and then have to wait how many years for it to be finished? It's hard because you want to support authors as books are coming out so that publishers don't cut them off and they're not able to finish a series. But also, as a person who reads a lot and has a shitty memory, it's also difficult to read something and then it's not finished for 3-5 years, you know what I'm saying? But I need more recaps in books. A 1-page, here's where we left off on last episode or whatever. 1 page, please. That would help so much. For manga, the Spy Family, I have read 7. There's currently 16. I don't know if it's ongoing. I just get in a manga mood and then I'll read a couple and then I stop. So there is that. And I also Full Metal Alchemist. I'm so mad at myself because I bought them all because I couldn't get them from my library and I really enjoy them. I got through 12 and I put them down because that's who I am. I don't know, but there's 26 total, I think. So next year, I'm going to try to finish those. That's my goal. Another one that I'm up to date with is Amina Al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. There's only one book out. I don't know if it's supposed to be a trilogy. I know that the second book comes out in April, March, May, somewhere in there. And that she's mentioned starting working on the third book. So I don't know if it's a trilogy or not, but I loved the first one and I'm so excited for the second one. We have a pirate in her 40s, a woman, and she had retired, was raising her daughter, but then something happened. She had to get the crew back together, and it was a great fucking book because of course it is. I love Shannon. She's incredible. And the second one I think is called Tapestries of Fate, and I'm pumped. I'm ready. This one also question mark. So this is The Expanse. I've read 4.5. I started the 5th book, I DNF'd it, and I was like, you know what? I just love the show. I'm just gonna watch the show, which I do love the show. However, I have since learned that the show ends, the books continue. Obviously there's 9 books and there's like a time jump. So I'm like, and I kind of want to get back into it. So I need to start the 5th book back over. I don't know. I fucking love The Expanse. It's like, especially the first 3 seasons are like a comfort show to me. Dad, no, that doesn't make any sense, but I love it. I rewatched the first 3 seasons at least 3 times. And I still have the final season to finish because I don't like to finish things, but I do think about going back to continue The Expanse. So we'll see. TBD. And then I have Riyria Chronicles, which I've talked about, Michael J. Sullivan, and I've read 2 of them. There's 5. I don't have a good reason why I haven't continued. I be wanting to read things and then I go read it and then my brain's like, no, we don't want to read this anymore. It's very lame because I've read the Revelations. I want to read the Chronicles and then I want to read Age of Myth and then I want to read Nolan. I think that's the order that it goes. I want to go in the publication order and not chronological order. So I should get to that. The Atlas 6. I read the Atlas 6. I liked it. There's 2 more. Heard a lot of not great things about, especially the final one. But I liked it. Do I remember what happened? No. So I'm like, what if I reread it and then I don't like it anymore? Which, I mean, I guess then I wouldn't need to finish the series, but I own them all. And I own other Olivia Blake books, and have I read them? No. So that's one of 3 that I've read there. Her Majesty's Royal Coven has 3 books, and I think like a little 0.5. I've only read the first one and I love the first one. I had such a good time. And then I started the second one, was in a slumpy mood, and then the 2.5 came out and then the third one came out and I'm like, so that's what I want to continue with. I need to reread. See, I can't be rereading every time I'm going to continue a series. Okay. And lastly, I forgot about this. The Wind Flame trilogy. I do not understand what happened. I loved the first one. Then I started the second one multiple times and I don't know. I don't know if that's the book or if it's me, but I own them all. And it was like before they were only being printed in the UK, and then they got printed in the US, and then there was like a special edition with the broken binding. But I've read the first one and I need to go back. So 1 out of 3. I guess you could say 1.5 out of 3. That is so many. So I'm gonna work on it. The easy ones especially are like the romance, just 1 left in those. And then if I could keep up to date with like Amari, Amina, that would be great. The Raven Scholar when that comes out. But wow, that just made me tired. Thinking about all of those. So are you a series reader or do you do more standalones? Particularly if you read romance, do you always read them in order? Because I know you rarely have to. So where you at with your series? Tell me, make me feel better. So there's my check-in into 2025, and hopefully I only completed 1 series this year. So hopefully next year I have way more series to report on their completion. Fingers crossed. Thanks for watching. Stay blessed, hydrated, moisturize, and sunscreen, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.